First, the headlines. Algerian Foreign Minister Ramtan Lamamra was slated to meet on Thursday with the head of the Malian Azawad coordination movements, Bilal Al-Sharif, to discuss the implementation of ceasefire agreement mechanisms. And a fatal heat wave has hit southern India as more 1,100 people have died of heat stroke or dehydration. Hello ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Zain News and welcome to this English news edition. First, in our outstanding stories, we don't focus the Mali file. Algerian Foreign Minister Ramtan Lamamra was slated to meet on Thursday with the head of the Malian Azawad coordination movements, Bilal Al-Sharif, to discuss the implementation of ceasefire agreement mechanisms, as well as to prepare for their new round of negotiations between Azawad coordination movements and officials from Bamako. Algeria considers that the big challenge now is to sign the final peace agreement with other parties of Azawad coordination movements, as well as to make it truly effective on the ground. The Algerian-Italian cooperation track, Algeria and Italy, have renewed in Rome their firm commitment to the territorial integrity and unity of Libya, as well as to the formation as soon as possible of a government of national unity. They also encouraged the Libyan parties at issue to tirelessly continue the inclusive dialogue, with the exception of terrorist groups recognized as such by the United Nations within the framework of the process initiated by the United Nations, while expressing their deep concern about the deterioration of the security situation and the increase of terrorist activities in the region. The two countries reiterated their determination to work together bilaterally and to handle security issues of common concern in the entire Mediterranean region. The major Khalifa trial, dubbed as the scandal of the century, is still continuing at Blida Criminal Court, with more hearings for witnesses in the case. And to secure further details about the issue, we now join our special envoy Siham Sadou, who is present at the premises of the Blida Criminal Court. Siham, could you update us more about the latest developments in the ongoing Khalifa trial case?
Hello, Nadia. Yes,
Hello.
I can listen to you. Yes, Khalifa file carries on, and today the judge Antal Mnowar has called 12 witnesses from the whole morning up to now. He has called, I can give you some names, Farid bin Sba'in. He was the general director of OPGI from Bishar, southern Algeria. He has poured into the account of Khalifa Bank an amount of 139 million dinars. As well Al-Kharouf Al-Haj Kasmi Azdin, ENTP General Director from Boumerdès, Khattab Isa, Yassi Jabbar. He poured into the bank account. He took a benefit actually of the bank, 9.25% deposit of 30 million dinars. Dahman Masoud, Idris Belarbi, Rabah Youssef, Sadmi Ali, and mainly one who served his sentence. His name is Haj Medani Sid Ahmed. He was accused of corruption and conspiracy. Right now, Nadia, I got with me Mr. Azar, Defense Minister of the main accused Moomin Khalifa. We're going to ask him some questions.
I am sure, I'm convinced on that. First one, we have to point out that the first decision related prohibition of foreign commerce was established, was illegally established. That had been established and evidenced. There is many evidence of that by Mr. Touati, who will be presented here. Mr. Touati had also seen the decision, the very decision which condemned the group of Khalifa to fight. Bankruptcy. And it's very there is a lot of questions that we will ask to him when he will come. I would like to point out also that during the bank there is had no difficulty to any person to have his money or to retire his fund. The difficulties began when newspapers began to announce that Khalifa Bank will be in bankruptcy. That's the second point, and it's very difficult to any bank to go over this kind of experience. We had asked Mr. Jellab, who is temporary administrator, if there had been before his because il a commencé à travailler.
When he started working.
When he started working, have you had a difficulty? If the bank had the difficulty to pay some clients or something else, the answer was no. Then we can deduce on that the decision or the dissemination of information that the bank is going to bankruptcy it's a point where the difficulties began.
Mm-hmm. So according to you, when we say that Khalifa Momen is the main accused, is totally wrong.
It's totally is the main victim on this case. I would like to point out another point that there is a witness in the case. First one, we have two categories of two kinds of witness. We have, for example, the members of banking commission who are presented as witnesses, but we remarked that they acted as a prosecutor, as they were here before the tribunal to defend their decision to remove annulation de l'agrément. Comment on appelle ça? To cancel the agreement of the bank. Then there is a kind of solidarity between them with Mr. Jellab, and to defend that this decision is lawful, and we can sustain that it's completely unlawful. And we have another category of the second category of witnesses who presented today. They are managers of directors of public firms that they explain that the decision to put their funds on Khalifa Bank was motivated only by the interest of that very important interest of the clients, and of interest, the rate of interest. And they explain also that they had never had problem before administration provisoire. Provisional administration, Mr. Jellab. Then when the bank was working, they had any kind of problems to have both their interest and the fund deposit fund.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think of the witnesses? What do you think of their pledging, their testimonies?
I think that their testimony is honest. And I don't know why they can lie. For example, they presented the facts with logical manner. And there is no reason that we can call that there is not doubt in what they were telling.
Nadia, that was Women's Khalifa defense lawyer. I'd like to add another exclusive news, exclusively for Zay News. Mr. Rawrawa will be present and will pledge next week. This is official.
Thank you so much, dear Siham, for all these details. And in another matter now, Prime Minister Abdel Malik Saleh inaugurated Tuesday afternoon the 48th edition of the annual International Fair of Algiers, held from the 26th May to the 1st of June at the Exhibition Centre of Paix Maritime on the outskirts of Algiers. It should be noted that India is the guest of honour of this major trading event. Hence, Minaras.
India, the melting pot of cultures, the South Asian multilingual and multi-ethnic country and home to a diversity of wildlife, is this year's guest of honor in the 48th edition of the International Fair, represented through multiple economic companies varying between electronics to agriculture to food and construction sectors, with more than 700 exhibitors willing to further invest in Algeria.
Actually, we are one of the leading insulator manufacturers, and we are supplying to worldwide actually. And now we are trying to enter into this Algerian market because we think that this is a very nice market for us.
From what I understand is our minister was here yesterday from India, so we believe that there's a lot of cooperation between the two countries which will go on further from here. And Algeria being a potentially a large country with interests in everything, and so we believe for we Indians it can become a very good bilateral trade between the two countries. So we can take certain things from Algeria, which Algeria has to offer to India, as well as bring things from India and offer it to Algeria. So I think it's going to be a great future.
The grand public opening in its first day witnessed an unexpected turnout of visitors, contrary to what is used to be seen in previous editions, both favoring this year's strong presence of national production and slightly expressing their disappointment towards foreign ones. A visitor said, I am an adept here of fairs. As I noticed, this year isn't like usual, lacking a lot. India is a big country, but the products they are offering aren't really commercialized here in Algeria. Held under the theme an economic diversification for sustainable growth. This year's edition welcomed 30 foreign countries with 6 European, 6 from Asia, 4 from America, 6 Arab countries and only 3 African.
Algerian economy is increasing, is developing, and will be a strong country in the future. That's why for us it's important to invest, to be present in this market.
The International Fair, lasting from the 27th until June 1st, will have the merit of contributing to the promotion of partnerships and transfer of expertise, thanks to the constant improvement of the quality of participation.
In other national news, it seems that the aspirations of the National Education Ministry for the final exams of the year to go on successfully are set to evaporate, despite the efforts of the latter to provide all the necessary means for a smooth examination period. The governor of Algiers, Abdelkader Zouk, decides to launch his rehousing operation at the same time as the examinations. This is according to the complaints of pupils' parents against Governor Zouk, an expected move. Karim Fazakri.
The commitment of the National Education Ministry by providing all the means to make the final examination succeed seemed to be against what the Minister Nouria Ben Ghabrir is aspiring for, due to the rehousing operation programmed by the Governor of Algiers, Abdelkader Zouk, at the same time as the examination periods. This is according to the complaints of pupils' parents to the Governor Zouk. The 19th rehousing operation scheduled by Algiers at the same time as the exam will have undoubtedly bad consequences on the pupils in the sense that they will be distracted and feel very uncomfortable when they change their old schools. Despite the reassurances of the Governor of Algiers, Abdelkader Zouk, that he will take special care of students who are having final examinations, the families are complaining about their students being so unfocused and fearing the examination centers will be far from the area to which they were recently moved. Many questions are asked by the parents before the students regarding the rehousing program being simultaneous as this very sensitive period for pupils. How could these pupils concentrate on revision while their parents are overwhelmed by moving? And are the statements of the Minister of Higher Education, which forecast the rate of failure, based on the rehousing operation and the consequences it could have on the pupils as well?
Still with local news, the constant cuts of internet network connection and landline, in addition to the dire service of the national company Algerie Telecom, prompted the General Association for Consumer Protection to lodge a complaint against the company and launch a boycotting campaign. The CEO of this national company breaks his silence by confessing that many shortcomings do exist, while assuring that the company is making a promising investment to cope efficiently with the current malfunctions and lapses as early as possible. Karim Fazakri.
The constant cuts of internet network connection and landline, in addition to the bad service of the national company Algerie Telecom, were the main reasons why the General Assembly for Consumer Protection wrote a letter of complaint against the company. The CEO of the company breaks his silence, confessing that many shortcomings do exist and assures that the company is going to make a promising investment to cope with the malfunctions.
اليوم الانترنت اصبح حاجه اساسيه حتى عند المواطن العادي نظرا
Today, internet has become something quite essential and indispensable for even regular citizens. Seeing the broad Algerian pool and the density of the population, we could only provide stable service, but that was only for landline. However, now we can provide a good service, especially for high-flow internet. The limit we reached was only 2 mega. Having said that, today we are studying in a new strategy and investment policy to enhance the quality of our services.
لهذا صدرنا يعني مخطط عمل واستراتيجية في الاستثمار.
As a response to the boycotting, Mohammed as well says that the place of the company and the number of its customers is a lot bigger than such campaigns and invitations, and that they were aware of their responsibilities.
كانت مقاطعات في الأيام السابقة في بعض المواد.
There was some boycotting in certain products. They are free. And I'm not here to go into respond. I'm a manager of an institution. I've always said that there was malfunction and defects in the network of the company. However, when we take into consideration of the size of the network and the customer's complaint, we need here at least to be logical.
ولما نشوفوا الحجم تاع les réclamations, il faut quand même, comme on dit, relativiser.
A public company with an economic and commerce background. This is what Algerie Telecom is trying to prove each time. However, the service it provides is below par and a source of constant complaint by the customers.
The Housing Management Council of the City of Oran in Western Algeria has organized a seminar focusing on slum housing and precarious buildings with the aim of curbing this pervasive phenomenon. During this broad-based meeting, it has been revealed that there are more than 9,987 illegal dwellings scattered all the level of 23 towns across 149 ramshackle housing sites in Oran province. More details in this report.
In a day of study regarding slum housing organized by the Council of Habitation in the Popular District Council, it has been revealed that more than 9,987 illegal housing units scattered at the level of 23 towns in 149 sites in the province of Oran. This meeting gathered all the decision makers by an initiative by the Popular District Council and the executive body with the aim of studying the phenomenon of illegal housing, which the government dedicated a special program to. In this council, we have put a plan to fight this phenomenon and by least means slow it down. We want the province of Oran to be a model in this.
من شأنها الحد من تفاقم هذه الظاهرة.
The governor of Oran also pointed out to a vast rehousing operation in the few coming days at each Wad Tlilat, Hassi Ben Okba and Gdiela, in addition to other areas in which works are almost done.
فيه برنامج قبل سيدنا رمضان شرعنا فيه.
There is a program of rehousing which we have already launched in the area of Watlilat and others, God willing, before the month of Ramadan, and in many other towns. And the largest operation will take place after the holy month of Ramadan. In the year 2014, there were many illegal houses owners who benefited from 5,000 new housing units. Many other programs are waiting to be implemented in order to restore the beauty of a province considered a significant tourist attraction.
In economy-linked news, the European Union and Algeria have launched a political dialogue on energy matters during a meeting in Algiers. Miguel Arias Canete, European Commissioner for Climate Action and Energy, and the Algerian Energy Minister agreed to further enhance bilateral cooperation in such sectors as natural gas, renewable energy, energy efficiency, energy market integration, and infrastructure development. Mohamed Barazwan.
The cooperation between the two sides followed the establishment of a strategic energy partnership in 2013. Algeria is a partner of crucial importance to the European Union. The launch of an energy dialogue in Algiers today will contribute to our enforcement of our bilateral cooperation in the new context of energy security, Alice Canete said. As per the agreement, two expert groups, one on natural gas and the other on electricity, renewables and energy efficiency, will be created. In addition, a business forum will be set up with the first meeting scheduled for 2016 in Algiers. Algeria is the third biggest supplier of gas to the European Union, and the European Union is the biggest importer of natural gas. However, due to a lack of new investment, gas production in the country is declining and large reserves of gas remain unexploited. Enhanced political links on energy could boost investments in Algerian gas with the knock-on effect of improving Europe's energy security, the European Union said. Meanwhile, the European Union has agreed to share its renewable energy and energy efficiency expertise in support of Algeria's goal to reach 22 gigawatts of renewable power by 2030 and a 9% reduction in energy consumption.
Still with economic news, oil prices fell again near 5 years low. Brent crude oil fell more than $2 a barrel earlier this week to a new 5-year low. It comes following predictions that an oil oversupply would keep on simmering on the unstable world market. Usama Snoussi.
Oil prices fell for a fifth day on Monday, and Goldman Sachs analysts believe they're going to drop much further. Although oil prices are trading at their highest level since December, driven by the quick reaction by the United States producers, as well as a large demand response, according to analyst Damien Covelling. The global market imbalances are not solved, and the rally will prove self-defeating.
$65 on a lot of these wells, the money is right. So CapEx will start building again. You'll see some of the tarps come off of these rigs. More production will come online at some point. And you will see perhaps what we might call a double dip recession in oil, where we saw, a dip to $40 and a secondary dip into the 45 range. And now when we're hovering closer to 65, give it a couple of weeks or a month or two, and some of these production numbers will start to creep back upwards, and maybe that will be the next slide that we'll see.
He notes that the U.S. producer response remains short of the slowdown required. Low-cost producers like Saudi Arabia and Iraq are not tracked to grow production sharply, and access to equity and debt capital markets is back to being open. Goldman analysts forecast prices will retrace to their lows of $45 a barrel by October.
Elsewhere in India, a fatal heat wave has hit the southern part of the country as more 1,100 people have died of heat stroke or dehydration. Temperatures in the capital, New Delhi, have hit 48 degrees, and the officials are asking the population to stay indoors for the rest of the week. Meher Mzahi.
More than 1,100 people have died in a blistering heat wave sweeping India, as forecasters warned that searing temperatures would continue until the end of the week. Southern India has borne the brunt of the hot, dry conditions, and many of the victims have been construction workers or other manual laborers. Temperatures have hit 48 degrees over the weekend, and in New Delhi, where thousands of poor live on the capital streets, these temperatures are expected to linger into next week. The heat has melted roads near the capital and caused problems with maintaining animal welfare at farms and especially at the country's national zoos. Government officials have sent out official decrees asking residents to stay indoors during the day, but to no avail. However, major relief can be expected from the 2nd of June, as there are indications of rain showers across the country.
And now back to our national news. National Artists' Day, coinciding with June the 8th, will be marked by a big commemoration ceremony for the late Algerian icon singer, the Princess of Arab Tarab, Warda al-Jazairiyya. The major event will be attended by numerous Arab artists and singers from 10 countries, including Algeria. Karim Fazakri.
The Princess of Arab Tarab, Warda al-Jazairiyya. This iconic singer will be honored by big Arab singers such as Saber Ribai, Wael Jassar, Rida Abdullah, Ruwaida Atea, Muhammad Asaf, Gada Rajab, Diana Karazan, Huda Saad, Ayman Al-Attar, Zakiya Muhammad, Yusfi Tawfiq. All these singers, in addition to big music bands, will pay a big tribute in breathtaking ceremony. National Artist Day on June 8th will be an exceptional one, for we are all artists paying tribute to a great singer in her memory. This program, which many talked about, will comprise of vital Arab participation from 10 countries, including Algeria. Many invitations were sent to iconic and famous artists who were very close to the late singer. However, some singers and big names apologized for not coming, for they have previous commitments elsewhere. We have sent many invitations to previous companions of the late singer Ward El Jazairiya, in addition to many notable personas, including Algerians such as the famous writer Ahlam Masghani and many other names. Big screens will be installed in the streets so as all the fans of Ward El Jazairiya will be able to take part in this huge event commemorating the phenomenon singer Ward El Jazairiya.
Let's shift now to European football action. Spain's Sevilla FC squad won the Europa League title last night for a record fourth time. No other European club has managed to equal that feat. Forward Carlos Bacca scored goals on either side of halftime to propel his side to victory. Mehem Zahi.
On Wednesday night, Sevilla won their fourth ever Europa League title, defeating Dnipropetrovsk 2-1 in Warsaw, Poland. The Spanish club have now won 5 European trophies in the last 10 years. But it was Dnipro who took an early lead when Brazilian flank player Mateos crossed to Nikola Kalinic, who headed past Sergio Rico. Polish midfielder Grzegorz Kukowiak equalized after the 27th minute as he hit a cracking low shot as the ball fell to him inside the box. 3 minutes later, Sevilla jumped ahead as Carlos Bacca latched on to Jose Antonio Reyes' pass, rounded the keeper and slotted home. Just before half, it would be Dnipro who equalized, as Ruslan Rotan dipped a vicious free kick over the wall and past the goalkeeper Rico. As the match seemed to head into extra time, Bacca scored his second and the match's winning goal. This one, a beautiful finish with the outside of his boot. Sevilla now automatically qualify for the UEFA Champions League and will be Spain's 5th representative of the tournament next season.
And finally, to wrap it up, in the United States, the NBA Conference Finals are underway. Thanks to the phenomenal play of the talented LeBron James and Steph Curry, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors squads are well on their way to the much exciting NBA Finals. Mehem Zahi again.
The NBA Conference Finals, taking place at the end of May, have been telling as the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors look set to contest the NBA Finals in early June. In the Eastern Conference Finals, LeBron James has showcased his ability to show up in big matches, leading his team to a 3-0 lead despite the absences of key teammates Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. King James has averaged 27.9 points per game, 10.5 rebounds per game, and 8.4 assists per game during the playoffs. James and the Cavaliers survived a late Atlanta scare on Sunday night and now have a chance to sweep the series if they win at home tonight. The Western Conference Finals might as well have been dubbed the Stephen Curry Show. This year's NBA MVP has averaged almost 30 points per game and has set an NBA playoff record for 3-point field goals made, hitting them at 42%. The Warriors rode Curry's hot hand to a 3-0 lead until Monday night when James Harden matched Curry's hot streak. Harden scored 45 points, going 7 out of 11 from behind the arc to keep the Rockets alive. Despite Monday night's loss, the Warriors are still heavy favorites to progress to the NBA Finals, where they will probably play the Cleveland Cavaliers.
The end of our English news edition. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.